Hi and welcome to another episode of LPPTV. I'm Claire Brummell, the Relationist, creator of Love, Polarity and Passion.com, and today I'm answering another question that's been sent in via the website. Today's question comes from Sweats and she says, how can I be a less needy female? Well, in reality, neediness occurs in both men and women when it comes to relationships. I speak to people all around the world who are struggling with this challenge. I speak to women who say, all I seem to attract are needy men, I don't understand what's going on. Or men who say, my partner she feels really needy, like she needs a lot of attention, and that whatever I give her, it's not enough. How can you help me with this? Or someone who comes to me and says, actually, I feel like I'm being really needy in the relationship and I don't understand why. Well, the reason that neediness occurs in a relationship is when you believe that someone else is the source of your fulfillment. That is, you're dependent on somebody else for some of the core things that you need to feel inside to be in place. It could be that you feel that you need someone to feel happy, that you need someone to feel enough, that you need someone to meet your needs, or you need someone to be complete. Now, without them, that doesn't get fulfilled within you. That's what creates this neediness and this kind of desperate need to get this from the other person. And the challenge you have is that this causes a real challenge to the relationship dynamic. And it's very unpleasant for both people, because the person who's in the needy space is feeling like they're desperately trying to fill a gap that's inside them. Whether it's the enough gap or the happiness gap or the I feel complete gap or the my needs are being met gap. Whatever that gap is, they're trying to fill from the other person. And it doesn't seem to matter how much they get from the other person, it doesn't seem to be enough. So there's this constant need to try and pull from the other person to fill that gap that's inside them. From the other person's point of view, not only is it quite draining giving to someone for whom it doesn't seem to ever be enough, but also you end up questioning, are they with me because they want me and because they want to be with me as a person? Or are they with me because they need what I'm giving to them? Are they with me because I'm fulfilling their needs, and without me being there, that need won't be fulfilled in them? And that creates a really difficult situation for a relationship, and it's very difficult to make work long term. I want you to imagine for a second that you're walking in the desert and you've been walking for days and days and days. You're massively dehydrated, the sun's beating down, there's no sign of water anywhere for miles and miles and miles and miles. And then you see someone walking towards you with a glass of water in their hand. What would you do for that person to get your hands on that glass of water, knowing that you need that glass of water to survive? Well, the answer is pretty much anything. And this is exactly the same thing that ends up playing out in this the needy dynamic within a relationship. It feels like the other person's got what you need in their hands, and if you could only get it from them, you'd be okay. But in actual fact, as I said, what ends up happening is that you end up trying to get and trying to get and trying to get, and nothing is ever enough. I know this from personal experience because I used to have pretty low self-esteem and low self-worth. And I was constantly looking for external validation. It didn't matter where I went, I was constantly looking for other people to tell me good things about myself so I could feel good enough. The challenge was that I brought that dynamic to my relationships, and I was constantly trying to get that validation to fill that sense of enoughness inside me. The challenge is, as I've mentioned before, it's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. It's like trying to fill a well full of water when there's a drainage system at the bottom. So it doesn't matter what you put in, it's never enough. The well never fills. Because unless you've got a foundation, unless there's a block at the bottom, there's a good amount of water already there, nothing will ever be enough to get it to the top. It's not something, when you're looking at the sense of feeling enough or feeling happy or having your needs met, it's not something that can be done externally. It's something that has to happen internally. But I didn't realize that. And so I was in these relationships desperately trying to get the validation I needed and I craved, but I wasn't ever feeling like it was enough. And because it was never enough, I was trying to get more. And because that wasn't enough, I was trying to get more. And it just created this really awkward and unhealthy dynamic in the relationship, rather than being this healthy balance where we both gave and received in equal measure, and there was this lovely flow to it. It was all trying to go one way. I was desperately trying to feel enough. And the challenge is that ultimately a relationship isn't there to complete you. There are a lot of myths out there in Hollywood and in our media that would perpetuate the belief that actually that a relationship can complete complete you, but ultimately you need to be complete on your own, by yourself, in yourself, before you come into a relationship. A relationship is not there to complete you, it's there to enhance. A relationship is about each party enhancing and expanding experience for the other person and sharing that experience with them, not about meeting those basic underlying survival needs, the needs that we have in order to feel good about ourselves. And that's where the neediness comes from. So how do you change this around? You can change this around when you understand that you are the source of your fulfillment. You are the source of getting your needs met. You are the source of feeling enough. You're the source of feeling happy. That it's something you can do for yourself totally irrespective of what is going on around you with anybody else. That you don't need anybody else to create this feeling in yourself. It's something you can cultivate and create yourself. And the great thing is that when you do that, when you learn how to create that whether it's a self-worth or self-esteem, whether it's learning to meet your own needs, when you realize how you can do that for yourself, you create this really great foundation. The well's almost full, which means that when somebody else adds a little bit of extra, you get a nice compliment from somebody, or somebody meets one of your needs in a new and unexpected way. They're not meeting your base level needs. It's like the cherry on top of the cake. It's the little bit extra that enhances your life, not what you need for basic survival. Now, as I said, this is something that's very dear to my heart because I struggled with this for a long time in my relationships years ago. And the beauty is that understanding how to make that shift, understanding how to fill my own tank, to have my well filled up by myself. So I'm not going to my relationship trying to fill the well. I'm going to my relationship with a full well saying, great, let's add a bit more to mine, let's add a bit more to yours, and let's enjoy this experience together. It has totally transformed my relationship dynamics because it's a healthy balance. There's give and take, give and receive in equal measure. There's a flow to it. It's about enhancing, not basic survival needs. It's important that we meet our own basic survival needs from ourselves rather than looking to somebody else to do it. So this is really dear to my heart. So I'd like you to help me share this by tweeting the love. And I'd like you to tweet, in order to be less needy, learn how to meet your own needs. In order to be less needy, learn how to meet your own needs. And I'd love to hear from you about this. Have you had an experience of being with somebody who feels needy in a relationship? How has that felt? What was your experience of that? What did you think? What did you feel in that situation? And was it something you enjoyed, or was it something you wanted to continue? Were you somebody who felt needy in a relationship dynamic and felt that I'm trying to fill, and there's never enough? How did that feel for you? Maybe you're somebody who has been in that position and actually has understood about meeting your own needs, fulfilling your own needs, and feeling filled up on your own. And by making that shift in the way that I've done, that maybe you've been able to see how that's created this lovely balance in your relationships and shifted those dynamics completely. Or maybe you've got some questions about how to make that shift from being needy to feeling fulfilled and not needing anything from somebody else, but just wanting to share your life with them because of who they are, not because of what they give you. Either way, I'd love for you to share your comments, your experiences and your questions in the comment section underneath here, because I know from personal experience that seeing other people share their stories in this way really helps other people with where they're at right now, which is why I always share my stories with you. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please subscribe to us on YouTube so you'll be notified the second a new episode of LPPTV is available. And if you enjoyed this and you think that there's some real value in here that might help other people, please share the video on Facebook, YouTube, Google+, Twitter, however you want to share it, so that we can help other people who might be in this struggling neediness dynamic in a relationship to create more healthy and balanced relationships and to enjoy themselves more, to be fulfilled on their own without needing something from somebody else in order to feel that way, and to create the dynamic shift that I've done in my life in their relationships. So please help me by sharing this out via social media so we can have other people who are in the same situation. And if you enjoyed today's video, come and join me over at lovepolarityandpassion.com, where you can sign up on the homepage for updates. It's completely free. You get every episode of LPPTV sent directly to your inbox, as well as a couple of articles that might be helpful along the way as well, and a couple of secrets thrown in there and surprises for good measure. I hope you've enjoyed today's video as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. I can't wait to speak to you again really soon, and as always, in the meantime, remember to be the love that you want in your life. I'll catch you next time.